analyst with Betul Dogan. She's an assistant professor of Middle East Studies at Ankara University, speaking to us from the Turkish capital. Betul, good to have you on the program. Reza was speaking there about an election that needs to be held in Iran within the next 50 days. What do you expect to see in that election in a country where previous elections have had very low voter turnout, and maybe an indication of the way voters feel about the electoral process in the country?
So for the Iranian society at the moment, they need a political trigger to encourage them to be more active politically, because in the last election they didn't feel that, and we have seen, as you mentioned, a lower turnout for the elections. So first of all, this will be a different election from the previous ones because the leader of the country passed away out of a sudden, and there will be a legitimacy out of his position. So the conservative candidates will be more like popular, outstanding, as they are following the line of President Raisi, and it will be only in 50 days. So the conservative parties, I mean the political alliances in Iran, they have to find someone who could raise this competition among the others. So first of all, there will be an Iranian power mechanisms that needs to work quite quickly. And considering the current situation of region, we have a war in Gaza, we have a war in Yemen, which all Iran has a role or involvement politically or militarily. So therefore, this is a difficult 50 days for Iranian politicians and political elites, including, of course, the religious leader himself. And the second part of it, because we had a leader passed away out of a sudden, of course, the election will be not like a regular one where we had actually always, in almost every cases, we have two periods of the leaders. Then for the third one, they had a new candidate to be elected either for the reformers or for the conservatives in Iranian politics. But in this case, because we don't have any outstanding candidate in none of the blocs in Iranian politics, then this 50 days will be determining the political future of Iranian politics. But also, I believe the elected or the preferred leader from different blocs in Iranian politics will be considered in a situation that Iran is under a regional tension, including a change in Iraqi politics, a change in Palestinian politics. Therefore, I believe this will be including domestic and regional calculations for the sake of Iran and Iranian political legitimacy.
You talk about the regional implications and the tensions that surround that, but when we look at the domestic tensions within the country and voters, we have seen under Raisi's rule that there has been dissent in the country. There were many protests that took place after the death of Mahsa Amini, who was allegedly killed in police custody. Could that play into this election and also how people are viewing this internationally?
I mean, for Iran, if they are looking for a change or a sort of reform in the political spectrum, of course, they can use this as an opportunity and bring someone who is more popular for the youth, for the society. But what we know from his politics, Raisi was someone who was supporting status quo powers in Iran. He was following the system, the political regime and system in Iran, rather than bringing even a little tendency of change. This is why there was this high rise of protest in Iranian society, including women's rights or youth or unemployment, because there was this domestic tension. And we don't see that he had actually an intention to change anything in a short period of time or in a long period of time. So then, if the current political elite in Iran, if they see this as a chance to bring solidarity in society, a reform wave in the society, of course they can bring someone who is more popular or has at least a little tendency to make a couple of changes in the society. But what I believe as a researcher of the Gulf politics, I think since now there's a war in Gaza, and since there's no need for the legitimacy of Iranian political elites to bring reform, they are not challenged from the system itself. They are challenged by the people who has no chance of changing the system. So this is why I believe they will have someone as a candidate like Raisi, who could provide a status quo power to system and who could bring a stability rather than a change in the Iranian politics, because this is risky, and I don't think this is a time for Iranian political elites to risk their legitimacy or power.
Okay, Betul Dogan, Akash, appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much.